From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX rocks, ETX rocks.
Hey guys, Boston Chris here with the 22nd episode of Songbirds and Troubadours presented by the ETX ROCKS Show, where we focus on the songwriter. That's right, one of the most unheralded arms of the music industry, in my opinion. And we have two great ones again this week. As you know, if you follow the show, we put this show out every single Wednesday. So it's two artists every week, two songwriters every week. It's a ridiculous idea, but we're trying it out 22 times now. We actually have a last-second replacement this week, so first and foremost, I got to thank Jud Hagan for coming in. Extreme last notice. I'm saying like 60 minutes ago, 90 minutes ago, he had to come in. So I definitely want to thank you. And so Jud is from Overton, Texas. If you're in East Texas, you've probably seen Jud out and about doing different kinds of things like karaoke and songwriting and stuff like that. But tell us where you're from. I think I mentioned it, but tell us where you're from and a little bit about your musical journey.
Jud Hagan from Overton, Texas. Started writing and playing about 21, 22 years ago. Been in music since the 5th grade, but kind of got out of it for a long time. Taught myself how to play the guitar a long time ago, and then I put it down for a long time, and I started back getting serious about 4 or 5 years ago, serious about writing and playing again. And from then, it's mainly Christian journey. I'm the music director at our church. I'm a karaoke host. Do a lot of singing, entertaining at different venues and things, but the songwriting end of it is, I guess, my relaxation time.
Yeah.
And God gives me some good songs, and He gives me some songs that are just strictly for me at the house.
Right.
You know how it goes.
So music is very much therapy for you.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Very cool. And of course, if you guys have been tuning into the ETX ROCKS Show, you might be familiar with our other guest this week. She was a guest on the show way back, like a year and a half ago.
About a year ago.
It's Kelly Zwern from Houston, Texas, by way of Austin. So same question, where are you originally from, and a little bit about your musical journey?
I'm from Austin, Texas, and I started doing music when I was about 20 years old. I had no musical background in my childhood or in high school, and in college I decided to audition for music school and was a voice major, and I learned all my theory and just the basics there, and my dream was really just to become a songwriter and
Yeah.
to play what I'm doing now. So.
And a great songwriter too, very lyrical. We're extremely excited to have both of y'all here on Songbirds and Troubadours. Again, episode number 22. We've come a long way on the show. Started in January, here we are in June, almost to July. Still going strong with this show. Let me tell you a little bit about how the show works if you're watching for the first time. Both of these guys are going to play 10 original songs, well 5 each, 10 total, in a song swap fashion. So if you're a fan of music out there, you might have caught a song swap or two around town, wherever you're from, and that's basically what we're going to be doing tonight. Each of them will play 5 all original songs, completely original to them. And again, songwriting is a huge passion of ours on the show, so we're excited to show you all that. Also, I've interviewed over 300 different musicians in the course of this show, but tonight is going to be a little bit different. They're going to interview each other, and that's called Question Swap. That'll be coming up a little bit later on in the middle of the show, where each of these guys will ask the other one 2 different questions in a swap fashion, the same way they'll do the songs. So it'll be Jud, then Kelly, then Jud, then Kelly. And it's a cool segment because we just never know what they're going to ask. It could be silly, it could be about music. You just never know. I've heard, "Why do you wear Crocs?" as a question on this show. So you just never know with songwriters. They're, a little crazy sometimes. Then at the end of the show, if you're a new fan or if you're a venue out there and you want to know a little more information about how to become a follower of them, or if you want to book them for your venue, tune into the end of the show where we'll definitely find out their contact information and all their social media stuff like that. Also, we'll find out if they have music available out there as well. So make sure you tune in. We're really excited about episode 22 of Songbirds and Troubadours. Y'all don't go anywhere.
Hey y'all, this is Drew Fish, and thank you for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
First song I'm going to do is called That Day, and it's kind of self-explanatory. It kind of speaks for itself, but just give you kind of a little bit of a background. It's about the day that I got saved and gave my life to the Lord. So. Sitting on that back row with my doubts and full of fear, listening to a preacher who I didn't really want to hear. And as he looks my way, my pride said to turn away, but then I felt that touch from God. I hung on every word that preacher had to say, and then I heard that still small voice telling me today's the day. And when the invitation came, I couldn't sit there anymore. He said Jesus has a plan for you, but first what you gotta do is make sure that your heart is right with God. Repent of your sin, place your faith and trust in Him. You gotta call on the name of Jesus Christ. I ran to that altar, not knowing what to do, and then that preacher came and said, I'll walk this walk with you. Then he opened up God's Word. He led me down that Roman road. At that old-fashioned altar, I poured out my soul, and the presence of Christ came in and made me whole. He forgave me of my sin. He washed me with His cleansing blood. I'll never forget the day that I met my Savior. And you can surely bet that I'll always remember what that preacher said that day. He said Jesus has a plan for you, but first what you gotta do is make sure that your heart is right with God. Repent of your sin, place your faith and trust in Him. You gotta call on the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Did you say when that all happened?
February 2nd, 1997 was when I got saved, gave my life to the Lord. And there's a interesting little testimony that goes along behind that. I might give that a little bit later, but that song, I didn't actually write that song until, golly, probably 10 years after. I actually wrote another one. It's called The Promise. I hadn't planned on really doing it here tonight. I might do it. The first song I ever wrote on the guitar, and it was about getting saved as well. And I just redid the music for that one, and I haven't polished it up or anything yet, so that's why I chose to do this one. So.
Can't wait to hear that one too.
Okay, well I might do it too, I don't know.
So, The first song I'm going to do is about my mother-in-law, and she's a hero or heroine to me. The song is called Moon and Stars, and I was just walking one day. I have 3 kids. I had my little girl in the pouch, walking along the path, and somehow this thought came to me of some stories she had told me from when she was younger, and she was way back when she was 17. And she made a very brave decision, and I married him. So, it's Moon and Stars. Baby boy snuggled in her lap. Eyes grow heavy soon tonight.
whole time, I'm picturing, if you ever do a video of this, you got to keep this in mind. I'm picturing Grandma sitting in a chair, Grandpa standing behind her, room full of grandkids, Mom and Dad, the kids, Mom and Dad sitting over here in the corner. The kids are just all over Grandma, just sitting in her chair,
That's
and
she
just kind of looks up at Grandpa, and just winks at him, and goes back to playing with the kids. The whole time, that's what I'm picturing that song. I like that. That's a good song. Wow.
Beautiful picture. It's pretty much how it is. We were just at our house. We just came from there before I drove up here, and yeah, they live out in Dripping Springs, Texas, in the country, and grandkids are running everywhere, and yeah, they're a fun family. I'm really blessed.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that actually does kind of bring to mind, if I can find the words. I'm not real good with remembering words as I'm There it is. So I may have to look down and glance at my paper there if I can. This song here is kind of like that, coming from, that's kind of a point of view, someone on the outside looking in at Grandma and Grandpa and the grandkids. This is about my grandson, 2-year-old grandson. Now he is my shadow. I go outside in the yard, that boy's right there with me. And when I pick up my guitar, which she's got a video on her phone of him, I got to tell the story. I got my guitar, I'm sitting in the living room, I got my piece of paper and my pen, and I'm writing and I'm playing a little bit, and I'll write down, I'll look at it, and this, that, and the other. Well, he goes, gets his guitar, he sits next to me, puts his guitar down, goes in the kitchen, gets a cookbook, because it looks like a tablet, gets him a pen. He gets up next to me, he goes, grabs it, he looks at it, puts it down, grabs his pen, does like this here, looks at it again, puts it down, goes, guitar, guitar, guitar. He's just wailing on that thing. And he does it every move I make. He's right there with me on that thing. So that's where this song came from. And
he needs to be here next on Songbirds and Troubadours.
Oh, yeah, we can definitely bring him. I tell you what. If I can remember how I started it. This was called Grandpa Watch. Running round, laughing and clapping, dragging round the beat up old guitar. That thing is way out of tune, 'cause he's been playing with those knobs. Oh, the joy in his eyes as he sits down next to me when I grab mine. Well, he might be off key, but to these old ears that music's just fine. When he says Grandpa watches I play my guitar, oh, one of these days I'm gonna be a star. He ain't old enough to understand what it does to this old heart. He says Grandpa watches I play my guitar. As I fight back the tears, he looks up and says, Grandpa, what's wrong? I tell him, nothing, son. It just takes me back to the days when I was young. To an old porch swing on a summer day, me and Grandpa would sing and sway together. I did back then what you do now, and I remember him playing this old Taylor. And I'd say, Grandpa watches I play my guitar. Oh, one of these days I'm gonna be a star. Well, I'm finally old enough to understand what it did his old heart. When I say Grandpa watches I play my guitar, oh, Grandpa watches I play my guitar. Oh, one of these days I'm gonna be a star. Well, he ain't old enough to understand what it does this old heart. He says Grandpa watches I play my guitar.
Awesome. I love it.
Well, thank you.
I had to keep myself from crying. Yeah, I get it. It's awesome.
Oh, grandkids grandkids are God's blessing for not killing your own kids when you wanted to.
I already feel like I can't wait to have grandkids, and mine are only 5, 6, and 13. So.
Oh, the fun ages.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, that made me think of a song I was going to do in a different order, but Look Away is the name of the song. And I wrote this song probably about, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago. And it has to do with I love the Song of Songs. It's such a beautiful poetry of exchange, of intimacy, language between God and his people.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just had this moment. I was driving my car, and this idea of me looking at him and him being overwhelmed with love and joy, and just how much he appreciates, because not everybody looks at him.
Right.
And to where his heart is just ravished, that we would choose to look at him despite all the distractions and things around us. So, look away.
Two thoughts. when a man meets his bride for the first time and just is enamored with her, just let's take off. Just come on, let's go. Come away with me. Let's run away from the world. And the second thought, in the middle there, I pictured David when, after Bathsheba, when he lost his child, he was in that funk, so to speak. He's praying and praying and praying. But afterwards, when the child dies, God renews his strength. He's like, child's gone. I'm going to be with him when I get to heaven. God's given me the strength to go on. God says, come away. I got more work for you to do. Let's get past this. That kind of a dual thought process in that one. I like that. That's pretty good. That's
Thank you.
And this one, along those lines, kind of staying with the Christian theme, this is called When Faith Is All You Have. When faith is all you have, faith is all you need. And it's kind of, this one came out of, one of those dark moments you have that not knowing what to do, and God just says, dude, I got you. It's okay. Come on, let's go. Let's get back up and go on. So, when faith is all you have. I've been down to my last dollar. I've been down to my last dime. When you're raised out in the country, that's just the way of life. Being taught to trust in Jesus, bow your head and talk to God. Oh, the miracles that happen when faith is all you've got. When faith is all you have, oh, faith is all you need. You get a whole lot more work done when you work hard on your knees. You can hand it all to Jesus, 'cause he's working behind the scenes. Yes, and faith is all you have. Faith is all you need. This old world can drag you down, make you feel like you're all alone. The howling wind of the storm keeps beating on your door. But the comfort of the Savior is just a prayer away. Don't be led by your feelings, let faith lead the way. When faith is all you have, oh, faith is all you need. Get a whole lot more work done when you work hard on your knees. You can hand it all to Jesus, 'cause he's working behind the scenes. Yes, when faith is all you have, faith is all you need. Jesus says to walk by faith and not by what we see. Step out on that water, keep your eyes on the King. When faith is all you have, oh, faith is all you need. You get a whole lot more work done when you work hard on your knees. You can hand it all to Jesus, 'cause he's working behind the scenes. Yes, and faith is all you have. Faith is all you need. Thank you. Finally got through that.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you. Well, like Mr. Boston Chris said, I believe we did mesh well, and I know the reason why. God says, my spirit will witness with the spirit. Our spirits witness together. We're both Christians. We're both believers. God's brought something together here. I love, one, you've got an amazing voice. Two, the style of music that you write speaks to my spiritual side. And I guess the question I would ask would be, I don't know. Spiritually speaking, what's just like your favorite inspirational song that helps you outside of like your own music that you write, my own music I write? What is the most inspirational song that you hear outside of your own music to help you?
Yeah. Well, I think it changes some, but right now, and it has been for a while, there's a song called, I don't actually know what it's called, but it just repeats, "To worship you I live to worship you." And I've heard it sung by, I think someone on American Idol sang it. But there's this amazing artist, her name is Stephanie Gretzinger, and she sings a lot of different covers, Christian worship music, and it's just "To worship you I live," and that's just like the deepest thing about who I am and what I was created for. And so I think when I hear that and sing it over and over again, it just goes to the deepest place in me and brings out the truest person in me. So, yeah.
Awesome. I think I know which song you're talking about. I don't know. It's been a while since I've heard it, but I think I know which one you're talking about. I like that song too.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, for you, so you said you live about 30 minutes from Longview, or?
Right. Yeah. In Overton, it's about 30 minutes south of Longview, give or take.
Okay. And did you grow up there?
No. I grew up in East Texas. I graduated high school in Royce City. I lived in White Oak for a little bit, lived in Gladewater for a little bit, kind of bounced around. My roots are here in East Texas. I've been in Overton, going on 13 years now, I think. So, and I love it. I can't think of living anywhere else.
Awesome.
So.
And did anyone in your family play music before? How did you get started? And who do you feel like influenced you in your family, if there was any kind of family?
That would have been my
history?
dad. He was first chair trumpet at Kilgore College for 3 years. He played trumpet outside of college for a little bit. He'd never pursued any further career after that as far as music-wise, but he was a very accomplished trumpeter. And when I got into music, he didn't really directly encourage or push or anything, but he was like indirectly always saying, good job, this, that, and the other. Well, maybe you could do this, or maybe you could do that, helping me, but he never really got completely involved. And there's a whole nother long story behind that, but I think as far as family-wise, my dad was my biggest inspiration in my own family. So, all right, same question to you. Family-wise, historically, who would have been your biggest family inspiration?
Well, there's actually my dad played the banjo in this thing called Ranch, which is like probably the young adult group. And when I was really young, I would go, and my cousin would lead the singing, and he played guitar too. And my dad played the banjo, and I just remember going with all these college students and young adults in the Valley, South Texas, where I was born. So that was kind of fun just to be a part of that as a kid, and so I definitely want to continue that with my kids. I bring them as much as I can to gigs and have them running around during practice, as long as it doesn't get too rowdy.
They're kids.
Yeah. And then so my uncle also played guitar, and he's a songwriter, and he lives in Kentucky. He's he went to school in Nacogdoches, not too far. He's awesome.
So your whole family pretty much is musically, for the most part.
It's true.
You're
My other
surrounded
uncle,
with
their brother James, he plays in a cover band in Houston called The Works, and they're booked every weekend for weddings and. He's an amazing bass player too. So lots of rich history there.
Yeah.
My grandma played piano too. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I just never think of these things.
Oh yeah, my grandma. I can remember, 3 and 4 years old.
Yeah.
Grandma would it was Grandpa that played, but Grandma, and the interesting thing about it, as long as Grandpa had a beer up on that piano, he'd play all night long. When the beer was gone, he'd quit playing. But she would make sure till probably 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning there was a beer sitting there.
Keep it full.
Oh yeah, all night long. I can remember that as a little kid, but as far as other family, I don't remember anybody else playing or anything. And my dad didn't play guitar or anything. I got started actually playing guitar. I was in my late 20s. February 2nd, 1997 was when I got saved. Probably about a year prior to that, I had bought my first guitar, and it was just an old beater, $50 at a pawn shop. And I got a chord chart. I had decided, ain't no country boy worth of salt not know how to play guitar. So I thought, I'm going to learn. So I got a chord chart, stuck it on the wall, got my guitar, and I banged on that thing. And everybody that heard me like, that thing sounds terrible. I'm like, it's the guitar, I promise. It's the guitar. And
Could
then,
be me.
well, about a year after I got saved, or no, I take that back. It was probably a couple of months after I got saved, I actually got a decent guitar, an Ovation, not this one, this is a different one. And I played the same chords, the same things I was playing before, and they're like, when did you learn how to play guitar, dude?
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
I tried to tell you it was the guitar, so there's something in that.
True, very true. Guitar makes a difference.
Yeah, but that's when I really started writing and actually playing was in '97, I guess you could say, is when my actual guitar
Yeah.
and all that stuff started.
So where, like, when you start writing a song, like I heard you describe some, introducing some of your songs, kind of where they came from your heart, but where do you hear melody first, or do you hear guitar riffs first, or where do you start, lyrics?
It's different. Most of the time it's lyrical. I get the lyrics first. Like there's one I'm working on now, I'm stuck, by the way, on this one. You get writer's block. But there's one I'm working on now, and the title of it actually came first, and I may have to change the title to make it fit. But and I started working on the words, and then I get the words, and I'll try to how they come out in my head. I try to get my guitar to match. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then there are other songs, like several of the songs. Matter of fact, that If It Wasn't You, Then Who? I had been working on a riff that riff that starts it out. I had been working on that, playing with that for a while, and that was actually what started If It Wasn't You, Then Who? So the music came first, and then the words. I guess it just depends on the song.
Yeah, I hear you. I have similar experiences.
Yeah. Do you get riding down the road, you have a thought or somebody say something, or you're around a bunch of people and somebody says something and you think, there's a song in there? Do you ever get that?
Yeah, sometimes. Not like what you're describing exactly, but similar. I think what I hear is kind of maybe something that I need to chew on, like a bit of truth that I want to become part of my whole being. And so I'll hear something that sounds inspirational and that I had never really thought of that way before. I'm like, oh, there's something to that. So
Exactly.
I want to process that, and the way I do that best is through songs. So sometimes I usually don't write things down because I'll lose the paper, so I'll take my iPhone out and put it on the notes, or I voice record on, just thoughts, or just typing out the words.
See, that's what I do. I have like countless notes on my iPhone of, hey, this, that, and the other, or, so-and-so, I saw so-and-so doing this that made me think of this, there's a song and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, countless pieces of paper out there in the studio that's half wrote down, a little thought here and there, that one of these days it'll come together. It may not. Who knows? How long does it typically take you to write a song? This is a trick question.
Usually I like to finish it, for the most part, have the basic bones of it, because I like to complete the thought. A lot of times it's me just sitting in prayer, if you want, it's a way of prayer, so it's me processing and listening, and then I'll start to understand more clearly, so I'll continue to write, and I want to finish the understanding, right? So I'm pretty motivated to sit there and
stay with it,
and
finish
it. And if there's, usually it's late at night, because like I said, I have kids, and
that's the only time you have to really be.
I like the late night writing time and creative time, so I have however long I want to finish it. So I would say maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours with the song. I mean, there's been times there's been lots of times where I have like maybe just the chorus or just the first verse, but that's kind of more if I'm doing other things and something comes to mind and I record it in the moment, and then I go back to it at night when I have time to sit, but when I have time to really process it, then I usually finish it within a couple hours.
Wow. A couple of songs I did tonight, I started 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't finish them just a couple of years ago. I mean, I get times where I'll start a song and I may get halfway through with it and I can't do anything with it, and then I'll put it away. And then year later, I mean, I'll pull it out every now and again and try and work with it, but I can't do anything till years later it'll finally come together.
Yeah.
And then I'll have times where I literally, it's one song I wrote, I didn't do it tonight, but I woke up, God woke me up at about 2:15 one morning. I'll never forget. It was right around 2:14, 2:15. By 3 o'clock, I was back in bed finished. And I had nothing to begin with. Just like woke me up and he's like, get your guitar. It's like, okay. 45 minutes later, I'm laying back in the bed going, wow, thanks God.
Well,
that's kind of cool.
So fun. I love that.
I love those songs. Those are easy to do.
Yeah. So I'm going to play a song called Mississippi. A couple years ago, I asked my mom to tell me some stories about her growing up. I just thought it would be great to write a song about her, and I already knew some of the stories. She's from a little town called So, Mississippi. It is really close to Laurel, Mississippi, and she grew up during the lots of intense things happening at that time. But anyway, the main thing was in her family. There was a lot of stuff going on, and so, you know, it kind of, when I write songs, a lot of times I am processing. It's just, there are conversations between me and God, and I've asked God some hard questions, you know, not understanding things like pain, and, you know, just thinking about my mom and the pain that she went through. You know, my question to God was, why? Like, where were you in the middle of that, and how do you explain, you know, that kind of thing happening to a child? So I was wrestling with this, and in the middle of it, asking that question and starting to write this song, I feel like he really clearly answered me, and it really helped. Anyway, for me, it's just, songwriting is almost like journaling on the guitar. So to me, what I felt like he said in that is that, you know, he didn't will for these dark things to happen to her. He came that he would bring life, and we have an enemy that has come to steal and kill and destroy.
Yep.
And he's brought that havoc into her life. But God, that's why he sent his son to come and give her a new life. But he took all of her pain and all of that stuff. If she's ready to let it go and say that's old, and then forgive and move on, then he brings a whole new place. So it really just gave me a lot of peace and joy and understanding that. So Mississippi. Life is slow and so Mississippi. Mama makes the homemade pies. Life is slow and so Mississippi. Like the southern drawl of the passerby. Mama had just one pair of shoes. Died back in the winter and the summer light. Grandma, she didn't know what to do. I was back from the man and her jaw was blue. Life was so slow and so slow. Life was so slow and so slow. Can't you help a little girl in me? Will someone take the time to see what's going on behind the scenes? It's gonna take some urgency. Mama woke her up in the middle of the night. The car was running in the middle of the drive. Now's our chance, child, don't be slow. She grabbed her doll in a bundle of clothes and said, goodbye, so. Goodbye, so. A few years later, she heard of a man who died, then 3 days rose again. was so slow and so slow. Life was so slow and so slow. Got good news, I'm telling the truth. My daddy sent me to rescue you. He told me to take this crown of truth. Put it on your head, it was made for you. You've always been daddy's little girl. I loved you before we made the world. Let me be light and he was the sea. Broke up our happy family, but I come here to ransom for your soul and brought you back home. Goodbye so slow. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home.
Very nice. You can hear the pain and the joy in the transition, that a person makes from, one, being a sinner to salvation, but two, the hard times that we go through in our life. God can even use those, even though he doesn't want those things to happen for us, they do because of the enemy. He can get glory and honor through that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. I like that.
I just like that no matter where we've been, we come home to him.
Yeah. Well, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. I mean, he's always there. And that's seriously, no matter what we do, or where we go, what we get into, he's always there.
Yeah.
And he's always there with open arms going, just, turn around. Come on. I'm right here. Even through, the things like that, the hard things that we go through, he's still right there. We may not see him a lot of times, but he's still right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Thank you.
This one here was in Georgia, lived in Georgia for a few years, and it was one of those times where, the hard times you go through, different things happen in your life. And I was driving, just took off up in the hills of Georgia, and there was a roadside park with a picnic table and all that. And I sat down, I got my guitar out. I was like, all right, Lord. And it was just like, he was like, look around. God talks to me like I talk to myself. All right, moron, look around. I kind of hear that, kind of in God's voice. Moron, look around. You sinner, look around. And I began to look around at where I was sitting and didn't even realize where I was at. It was up on top of a mountain in Georgia, overlooking the canyon with it was just a little bitty town down in there. It was just gorgeous. And that's kind of where this song came from. And it's called If It Wasn't You, Then Who? Did you dress the flowers of the field? Did you sling the stars at your will? Did you give the trees the leaves that they bear? If it wasn't you, then who? As I look out across the open spaces, wonders of your majesty unfold. I see the questions on other people's faces, but I know that it was you. Did you put the wind underneath the eagle's wings? Did you hang the clouds in the sky? Did you give us the life that we live? If it wasn't you, then who? Did you go to Calvary that day? Did you open up salvation's way? Do you have the keys to death, hell, and the grave? If it isn't you, then who? As I look out across the open spaces, the wonders of your majesty unfold, I see the questions on other people's faces, but I know that it was you. Yes, I know that it was you.
Sweet.
Thank you.
It's a nice picture. So I guess the next song I'm going to play is called Lose It. And I just came up with the chorus again while I was driving in my car. I think well in the car because I have 3 kiddos, and I don't know, driving can be serene if they're occupied or if they're not in the car. I think they were not in the car this time. So Lose It, yeah, it's just kind of, again, just reflecting on what was going on in my heart, and it was just time of, I'd been a Christian like a long time, but I didn't feel like I really got it, and I built up this bitterness in my heart. This is before the song that I had played before, and I'd gotten over that, by the time I wrote Mississippi. But with Lose It, it was a time of me processing, understanding the gospel, and I think before I was trying to believe God for the things that I wanted in my life to have a better life, rather than completely losing my life.
Yep.
And for Him to give me a new one, a really different reason for living. So I had grown up with just a lot of depression. It was very real, and I was tired of it, and I was like, God, I don't get why all this darkness that I feel, this cloud, but all your word is about freedom. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it's not connecting and help, basically. And He started showing me just that I needed to completely just give my whole life and not reserve anything. And then He changed my reason for living to be love, just that to carry His love. Mm-hmm. And He filled me with His love, and then I can, real quickly, it became the thing that I could transfer and give away. Yep. So, Lose It. You got to lose it if you're gonna find it. You got to lose it if you're gonna find it. It may not sound PC, but it will make you for real. May not sound PC, but it will make you so free. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, my pain brought me to tears, stole some joy, stole some years. The more I grit my teeth, the more I sing beneath. Took a little pill to help my brain balance all the stuff making me insane. It's too small on its own, so I grow, so I grow. So I said to God above, didn't see the evil coming? Why didn't you rescue me from their schemes? He said yes, and ever since the fall, I could see what was going down. It's been every man for himself, fighting for a crown. He's been on his own, so he grows, how he grows. out and they were made to look like me. I said, well, okay, what's that to me? He said, you look like you could use some peace. I won't revive what is old. Let's put this new life on. You'll need new skin for the new wine that's about to flow. So let it go, let it die. No more groaning. You got to lose it if you're gonna find it. You got to lose it if you're gonna find it. It may not sound PC, but it will make you for real. May not sound PC, but it will make you so free. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, self-pity told the lie that I need to take some time to honor all the heartbreak in my life. He said, call it what it is, the old is dead and gone. Come and see what I saw in you all along. Oh, it's time to let it die so you can live through me. No more paying homage to that victim. You're not a tragedy. Jesus said, I'm the resurrection. I am the life. I am the way. Now believe. He said, you see, I'm the king, and I'm the prince of peace. So you're the princess bride, that's what I see. Wait till what you have been hoping for. Proof of the unseen. Open your little eyes of faith. It's time to believe. Yeah. Rise and sing. Rise and sing. Rise and sing this song. You got to lose it if you're gonna find it. You got to lose it if you're gonna find it. May not sound PC, but it will make you for real. May not sound PC, but it will make you so for real. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's definitely not PC.
That's true.
Interesting. I heard a song actually for the first time. It's an older song. Wednesday, politically incorrect, and I'd never heard it before. I thought I had, but got to thinking about it, I never heard it before. It was a good song. It's, you know, talks about the Bible and this, that, and the other. But it reminded me of that because it's, you know, not PC to talk about the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that. I like the little rhythm.
I've always loved that song.
I like that.
Always loved. First time I heard it,
Oh, thanks.
ended up in my playlist.
Oh, really? That's awesome. Aren't you glad I didn't mess up on that one? Because it's like 15 minutes long.
Yeah, we songwriters, we get a few lyrics in there. We got to cut it back here and there, you know.
I actually did.
I remember
That's
when
the trimmed
Terrell
down
sent
version.
me that video of you doing that on the show. I was like, man, what a great song.
Oh, awesome. That's
Just so cool.
it's such a good compliment. Thank you.
No problem. All right, Jud.
Well, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. We've done a lot of, you know, Christian songs, gospel songs, and that is, you know, the Lord is the main focus of my life. But, you know, we go through other times and this, that, and the other. And this is a song about, you know, a hard time in my life. It's called Golden Diamonds, and it's just a country tearjerker, I guess you could say. Is
Good. Make me cry. Make me cry.
Golden Diamonds. Well, I don't know if it'll make you cry, especially the last line in it. It kind of switches gears on you there.
Okay,
too.
good.
It was no September, summer had come and gone. The leaves had started to turn, fall was coming on. A snap in the air was all I could bear on that cool Oklahoma night. She threw that ring back at me and drove off outside. With gold and diamonds in my hand, I've been done wrong again. After I tried so hard to live it right. She said it's time for us to part. Never really loved you from the start, and I'm tired of living this life. This just ain't my life. I don't wanna be your wife. Her old life kept calling, that old bridge just wouldn't burn. She went to see a friend, and that began the end of the life I'd given her. The hand that I'd been given had played me too hard. She held nothing back, the deck was stacked when she dealt me my last call. With gold and diamonds in my hand, I've been done wrong again. After I tried so hard to live it right. She said it's time for us to part. Never really loved you from the start, and I'm tired of living this life. This just ain't my life. I don't wanna be your wife. Years have flown by since that day she said goodbye. My life ain't never been the same. And looking back, I realize the truth of what she done, and the best thing that ever happened to me was gold and diamonds in my hand, being done wrong again. After I tried so hard to live it right. Well, when she said it was time for us to part, never really loved you from the start. She was tired of living that life. Oh, I'm glad she's out of my life. Thank God she's someone else's wife.
Wow. That is such a good song.
Well, thank you.
Really, that's amazing. Yeah, I like the honesty in it. Just that you're really processing something there and burying your heart in it. It's good.
Yeah, it was. It was a big process, and actually, the last tag verse, I guess you could say, just come about the last year or so. It was like, you know what? Thank God, because had that not happened, I wouldn't have what I have now, and I've got so much more now than I ever had before. So it's amazing.
So I guess this is the last song I'll be playing. It's called "Put Me On," and again, really all my songs are the same. It's just, you know, me conversing with God and Him just kind of sharing His heart with me, and so grateful. One of the things that just rocked my world when, I guess about 4 or 5 years ago now, is when all this transition happened, and I really think that I became born again, and I really understood the, you know, like baptism, like dead and alive. So yeah, it's just that, I used to think, oh, well, His grace is there, so I can just kind of, it's okay that I do these things, that I lose my temper, or that I just get so offended, so frustrated, or, just stuff with whatever, the stuff, the junk. And I just kind of felt like it was acceptable because, His grace is there. But then He started to show me, no, Kelly, my grace is here to help you to live a life of righteousness. And I started to read the Bible more, and I just see so much of, like, I am transformed, I am made whole, and so it gave me the power to change the things that I didn't like about myself.
We become a new
and
creation.
He continues to do more. So, so as I put him on, but I asked, my prayer was like, God, would you just put me on, Gideon says that God put Gideon on like a glove, and he was able to, work with him in that way.
Yep.
So that's my prayer here. That's my song. Take your thread and sew through my apathy. I'd rather rinse from the pain than remain numb. Oh, hem me up if you please. Stretch me out if need be, whatever it takes for you to make me a garment of praise, and put me on like a robe. Then I could rest on your shoulders, absorb your fragrance. Hey, put me on like a robe. I yield to the movement of your unforced rhythms of grace. Hey, put me on. All I ever had was a patchwork of rags. Tried to dress it up like a whitewashed tomb. Truth be told, the stains of despair would not let go, but you took what I had, then gave me yours, displayed your splendor. Oh, and you put me on like a robe. Now I can rest on your shoulders, absorb your fragrance. Hey, you put me on
Beautiful. I like that. And I mean, yeah, that definitely brings back the image of that Gideon portrayed. That was awesome. I like that.
All right, once again, it's Boston Chris with the 22nd episode of Songbirds and Troubadours. We're here with Jud Hagan and Kelly Zwern. So if you guys are tuned in for the first time, maybe you're fans of these guys, I want you to comment down below what song you guys really enjoyed tonight, and we'll definitely let them know which ones were y'all's favorites out there. So if you are hearing about Jud or Kelly for the first time, I want to definitely make sure you guys have a chance to follow them on social media. So Jud, just tell people out there where they can follow along with what you have going on social media.
I'm on Facebook, Jud Hagan. I actually have 2 Facebook pages. One is strictly for my music, and I haven't really done a lot with that. The other one is for music and karaoke.
Okay.
The one with Charlie Daniels as the picture is the one that I use most of the time and the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Yeah, and that's not Charlie Daniels' Facebook page. So
no, that's
all
Jud
you younger
Hagan.
Women, stop sending him friend requests.
Jud Hagan with Charlie Daniels' picture.
Yeah, if you look real close at that picture, like for 15 minutes or so, you'll notice Jud is in it too.
Yes, this is true.
And do you have a Reverb Nation page or anything like that?
I don't. I have been looking into that. And again, that's kind of, that particular end of it's kind of a new direction for me.
Right.
I'm trying to, I don't really know exactly how to do that.
Okay, I'll help you with that.
That would be great.
For sure. And Kelly Zwern, again, she's been on the show before. Really excited to finally meet you in person. You're just a huge blessing to me, and we've been huge fans of yours for a long time. So it's a real treat to have you here tonight.
Thank you so much.
But tell folks out there where they can follow along with the Kelly Zwern journey.
Sure. I'm on Reverb Nation at reverbnation.com/Kelly Zwern. I have a Facebook artist page. It's Kelly Zwern Music. I just came out with a single, so it's on iTunes. That is Put Me On, and another one is coming out called Lose It in July.
And also, you guys, if you go to YouTube and just type in Kelly Zwern ETX ROCKS, you can check out our episode with her, which we did last year during season 2. Really cool interview that Terrell Brindley, or This Intangible Existence, did with Kelly. And of course, Terrell's going to be here again in about a month. We're really excited to see Terrell again here. I think in August he's coming back, so that'll be a lot of fun. He's just a ball of energy, man. I love that kid. And so it's Jud Hagan. I'm going to spell that out for folks. It's JUDHAGAN on Facebook. Check that out. It's Kelly Zwern, KELLYZWERN. She's on Reverb Nation, and it's Kelly Zwern Music on Facebook, I believe. So make sure you check those out. Buy the single. It's Put Me On. It's out there on iTunes, Google Play, and all of that stuff. We'll definitely put a link down below to her Reverb Nation page. That way, and maybe we'll even put a link down there for the single as well, so folks will have an opportunity to purchase that. We did hear the single tonight. It was really exciting to hear that live finally, because Kelly's been a really important part of our playlist for a while. First time I heard Lose It and Put Me On was when Terrell interviewed you for us, and just incredible stuff. It was awesome to see Jud and Kelly here tonight on the 22nd episode of the show. Again, I want to thank Jud for filling in at the last possible second. I'm not even kidding. At 5 p.m. tonight, we were finally in contact with Jud, and he was here at 6:15. So thanks for just being a lifesaver, because without you, this show doesn't happen this week. So thank you.
Glad to be here.
And again, I want to thank Kelly for driving so far to hang out with us for a little while tonight. You came from Austin tonight.
I did.
So
Going back to
she's
Houston.
very familiar with 31.
Yeah.
And you're heading back to
Beautiful.
Houston tonight, right?
Well, I'm going to actually stay halfway between here and Houston. I think Lufkin.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty close. About halfway. Maybe a little less than halfway.
Yeah.
But Lufkin's a lot of fun. So she'll be in East Texas tonight. And again, you venues out there that might want to book these guys, I challenge y'all, if you're in the East Texas area, let's get Jud and Kelly playing some shows out here in East Texas, especially Kelly being from Houston. I'm sure you'd come up and visit us some more, right?
I would love it.
So let's get her as part of the East Texas music scene out there. If folks wanted to book y'all for a show, how would they contact y'all?
You can contact me through Reverb Nation or message me on Facebook.
Okay, and Jud, same?
Facebook would be the easiest way to get in touch with me.
Okay, and I'm not going to do you wrong. What's your karaoke schedule? Just so folks might want to visit you that way.
Karaoke is Wednesdays through Saturdays. Wednesday night we're at Brewster's in Tyler. Thursday night we're at the Central Station in Gladewater. Friday and Saturday night at the VFW 1183 on Highway 80 in Longview.
Awesome. See, I'm showing some love to karaoke, y'all. You should be happy.
There we go.
So once again, this is episode 22 of Songbirds and Troubadours, presented by the ETX ROCKS Show, where we focus on the songwriter. We are huge fans of original music, and that's why we decided to be stupid and do this show every single Sunday, and then turn around and put it out every single Wednesday. That's right, I have a 2-day turnaround on production for this show, which means I don't sleep between Sunday and Wednesday. See, I don't sleep. I'm telling y'all. It's true. Now, if I was sleeping better, I would have said that sentence a little bit better. That's a true statement. But anyway, if you're tuned in to us for the first time and you want to follow along with all the stuff we have going on, we're located on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ETX Rocks. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button down below. That'll give you advanced notification on all of our content that we upload to YouTube. And almost 1,200 videos we've got up on our YouTube page now. That's live performances, intimate acoustic stuff, full-length episodes. All of our Songbirds and Troubadours are on there as well. Also, our brand new show, the Ricky Lynn Gregg Show, is also on there. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are also extremely low budget. Key emphasis on the word extremely. We have 5 bulbs right now because the 6th one blew out and we couldn't afford another one. It's true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, that one's messed up. So what that means is we are low budget. It's true. And because of that, we've set up a donate link for folks out there that would like to contribute to the show a little bit and support us. You can find that at www.paypal.me/ETXRocks. And we'll take anything from a nickel to $1 million. Anything over $1 million, you'll have to split that up into 2 donations. We'll take it, but you have to split it up.
Yeah.
There's no reason why. I just want to see people split it up.
There you go.
Oh, and we'll take American dollars, Egyptian pounds, Polish zloty, and Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, we won't take De Niro? Not anymore?
No, I wouldn't take Robert.
I'm sorry, guys. My producer says no more Robert De Niro because he brings Al Pesci with him. Or even Joe Pesci, which is a little different. Al Pesci's like his younger brother from the Bronx, I think. The people are out there Googling Al Pesci right now. That's the sound you hear. What I meant to say was Al Pacino.
There you go.
Which is also different. It was because of you guys and your contributions to the show that we just recently launched a brand new webpage as well in March. You can find that at www.etxrocks.show. And we have almost 10,000 hours of content right there on the webpage. In other words, it's like a trap. You go there, you never leave. It's like Hotel California.
There you go.
Yeah. Wow, you see that? That was quick. I didn't even write that out. There's nothing here. No cue cards, no teleprompters.
Nothing here either.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm not going to go there. I don't know you that well.
Yeah.
I'll leave it in. I ain't afraid. That's right. I'm going to leave it in. So yeah, definitely check that out. Make sure you put .show at the end. It's not a .com. You'll also find all of our live events on there that we do all across East Texas, which is our acoustic series, which is sometimes original music, sometimes not. So check that out. Come out and say hi to us. We'd really like to meet y'all in person. And as we always say on the show, we want to thank you guys out there for always supporting live music of all genres and all styles. And don't ever forget,
ETX rocks.
That's right.
From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX rocks.